Hi, I'm Jeff Gundy, and welcome to Cooking with Comics, where we'll learn about the weirdest concoctions my fellow comedians have made in the kitchen and what was going on with them at the time. Today, I'm talking with Emily Kingsley out of Denver. Emily, you were recently on the 420 Fest, if I'm not mistaken.
I was part of Savage Entertainment. Yes, I was.
What was it like, or do you remember?
I don't remember, Jeff. No, I'm just kidding. I
It's on
actually,
Facebook, so.
yeah. So at least Facebook is reminding me that I did something, and that's usually how I remember that I did something because I'll see it on social media. I'm like, oh yeah, I did do that. No, that's
Oops.
not true at all. Kind of. At least that's not what I'm going to put out into the universe. No, it was really really fun. I do remember it. I actually have to. I've taken a vow that I cannot perform stoned.
Same, same.
I try so hard, but it usually ends up with me just like huddled in a puddle on the stage, being like, I can't do this anymore.
Seriously, and I am, I'm no stranger to that, but
Yeah, yeah,
combining it with comedy, I tried it at an open mic because I just couldn't loosen up this one
yeah,
time. Happened
yeah,
last summer,
yeah,
and so I'm like, God, I just can't shake this tension today or whatever. And
yeah,
I just walked out and did that, and I got back in, and we were allowed 7-8 minutes at that particular open mic. I left
yeah.
the stage after a minute 20 because I thought I'd been up there too long.
Yeah, you
So
premature ejaculated. That happens to me all the time.
And if only somebody had thought to say that then, but we'll take it now. That's good. I like
That's
it.
I have coined it. That is my term. You've heard it here first, folks. Yeah, dude. No, I that's exactly what I do. Like I go up and I get one laugh and I'm like, and I like blow my load. And I'm like,
Mhm.
because one, I'm too tired, and two, like I can't get my brain, like the wheels can't connect when I'm that stoned. But I did do the 420 show at Blush and Blue, and it was awesome. It was actually really, really great. It was a sold out crowd, which was cool. And in this particular show, there wasn't a ton of 420, it wasn't exactly a 420 vibe, but all the comedians had their 420 jokes. I have a bunch of jokes about being a stoner mom, and that's basically the set that I did. And then after I got ridiculously stoned. So
After, yeah, that business first. That's how I tend to be. Like even with the alcohol portion of it, which I know that's the sidebar. We're
mhm,
talking about weed, but yes,
yeah,
even with that, I realized that I just wasn't as funny as I thought I was. Even
I
after a
know.
beer or two, like I just get into a different mode. So then I reward myself afterwards, and it feels better. It's like, hey,
It feels way better.
I earned this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
It's like a marathon runner. I just, you know what, every marathon runner in the world is going to be like, not the same Stoner McStonerton. Like you
sure.
think that way you abstaining from smoking weed is like the reward you get after running a marathon?
I know.
Oh,
And
not so much.
looking back, the notion that I'm going to be somehow more comfortable in front of people while I'm on a microphone because I'm stoned. Yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
Because it doesn't have that paranoia thing or anything. Anyway, live and learn.
That's real.
Hey, what's something you're looking forward to in your world of comedy? Big, small, in between?
Oh my gosh. Lots of things. Well, tonight it's not necessarily comedy, but I'm doing that Unsent show that's at the Town Hall Collaborative. I don't know if you've heard of this, but
Mm-mm.
10 people go up on stage, and it's a mix of all different kinds of people who've done this before, people who haven't. But you go up and you read a letter that you either sent and regretted, or you wrote but never actually sent. And
Oh my goodness. I wouldn't be able to choose one. I have so
I
many.
know. It was hard for me. And honestly, this is one of the scariest things I think I've ever done because I'm a jokester.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to be that vulnerable in front of a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm actually reading a letter that is sent to that I unsent to my daughters. So
Ooh.
I know it's going to be real heavy. It's kind of like an essay on like modern motherhood and a lot of different things, but and basically just calling myself a big fat liar.
All right. So you're gonna
Yeah,
let them know some truths that it's time, huh?
yeah, and like maybe one day they will read it. Like sometime they'll find themselves like questioning everything in their lives and their life choices, and I'd be like, look, honey, you're not alone. I also question myself constantly. But so that's really cool. That's coming up tonight. And then at the first weekend of May, which is May 6th, I have the Matriarchy Presents, which is the Mother's Day show. It's our year
Nice.
anniversary. Yeah.
It's your 1 year anniversary?
Yeah, dude. Our first Matriarchy show was last year at Rise Comedy, and it's going to be again May 6th at Rise Comedy. And we're already like selling tickets like hotcakes. Like they're going, it's awesome. It's just a bunch of us moms just, you know what? I say that we are some of the best freaking comedians because we have really mastered the art of not giving a fuck and not being able to please everybody. You know what I mean?
If you've been at it very long, I would think so. And
Yeah.
Rise is such a fun room. Always, whether I do that open mic on Wednesday or like a hosting a student showcase or
Yeah.
one of the other shows. I mean, it's such a great place.
Yeah.
I just want to back up for a second here on the Unsent
Sure.
and ask, what's the goal of that show? Is it to invigorate relationships? Is it just for the wow factor? You say it's not necessarily comedy. I'm sure there is a lot of funny stuff that happens.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And I guess the producer who puts it on tries to do a variety. Like some of it is really heavy, some of it's really, comedic, some of it's right in between. So it's kind of all over the place. I don't know if I understand the goal, except for maybe just to maybe create a safe space for people who just want to get something off their chest, maybe. Or
yeah, it could be therapeutic like that, I'm sure. And anytime you're public speaking too, you get that experience. So it's good to do it in different ways. So
yeah, totally. Like I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, my objective is to like show people kind of like the other side of me and like the reasons behind some of my jokes, especially because I do a lot of joking on motherhood and stuff like that and how terrible it can be sometimes.
mhm.
And I think a lot of people look at those jokes and think, oh, she obviously she's so sad. She doesn't want to be a mom. Like, why did she choose to be a mom if she says these things? But it's like you can still have this attitude and this mentality towards motherhood and still love being a mom. Like it's not mutually exclusive. And
You bet.
and I just think that so for
Yeah.
me, it's kind of like this is how I feel about myself. And I'm trying to find ways to laugh at it so that I don't cry.
Absolutely. And such it is with the rest of everybody's life who is making jokes about whatever their life is.
Yeah.
I'm a dad. I have 3 teenage daughters, and so I hang my hat on a lot of the stuff that comes up with that.
Yeah.
Actually, I have to really embellish or, exaggerate a lot because my kids are great. Like they are,
Yes.
I have such little complaints about them,
Yeah.
but still, if nothing else, it's all my failures. Like I have to hide some of the same stuff from my kids that I hid from my dad.
Right.
And something isn't right there. Like it seems like I should be the
Right.
responsible one now, but no, it was the generation before and after me, and I'm just
Yeah.
this guy in
Yeah.
between.
You're just don't shoot the messenger,
Yeah.
guys. I'm just here. Yeah, totally.
There's a lot there.
There is a lot there. And it's just like one of those things that our society puts you in 2 different categories as a caregiver, as a parent. It's like you either love it or you hate it, and there's no like in between, and it's interesting. I don't know. And
people need to worry about themselves, plain and simple.
it's real.
Yeah.
That's
till you're in them
real.
shoes. don't try and do the run. Hey,
yeah, exactly.
Emily, hey, do you consider yourself a cook?
Do I consider myself a cook? Oh, Jeff.
That wasn't meant to be a punchline, but we'll take it.
I love cooking. I was actually a professional chef for a year of my life right after I graduated college. That's right. I was a catering company chef. I grew up on the Food Network. Like that's all I used to watch as a kid. And as I got older, like that's just what was always in the background. But now, like, can I just say something real quick? The Food Network kind of sucks now because all it is are those damn competition shows.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love the people who are being chefs, but at the same time, I don't really want to know like the backstory of what you're cooking. Just show me how to cook a fucking roast. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Right. It's like a food blog, just give me the damn ingredients. It already takes long enough to make this.
Yeah, it's like, all right, Giada De Laurentiis, I don't need to see your O face every time you taste a piece of spaghetti.
Yeah, just make the damn thing.
Exactly. But anyway, yeah, I do consider myself a cook. I cook a lot. I also had a cake business. I forgot to say this. I had a professional cake business for 4 years. It was custom cakes. Like you say, you wanted a cupcake ski lift. You got it. And I made like an actual moving chairlift that carried cupcakes.
Wow.
As a display for a wedding one time. And I've done all kinds of stuff. So
anything that is really zany, like an order that stands out in your mind that you couldn't believe somebody wanted, or something that just didn't turn out the way that you had hoped, if it's not too painful to discuss.
It's fine. I was very new to making cakes, and I had watched a lot of Food Network, and I thought, yeah, man, I could totally do this. And I made a baby shower cake for somebody, and it looked great. But the transportation from one place to the next was a disaster. So I put it in the trunk of my car. And then when I opened the trunk of the car, it was a tiered cake. It had literally like mushed, like, did you like the sound effect, just like all over the trunk, like it melted in the trunk of my car. And it was a baby shower cake, and they had already paid me for it. And that was probably the most embarrassing thing that I think I've ever, well, it's not the most embarrassing thing I've ever done, but that was probably one of the worst fuck ups I've ever done cooking. There was one time when I was stoned. Should I continue this one?
I'm listening.
I was super stoned, and it was when I was in high school, and I came home and I had the munchies, and I'm like, oh my God, I need biscuits. I fucking need a biscuit so bad. If I know, and if I didn't get, and if you think about it, like, why biscuit? Like, that's like the worst cotton mouth thing you can think of.
True.
But I'm like, God damn it, I'm gonna die if I don't get a biscuit. But I didn't want to wake up my parents. So what I ended up doing literally is I took the box of like Bisquick and I poured milk
into the box.
And I just kind of like stirred it up a little bit, and I just shoved it into my mouth, and I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever done in my life.
Uncooked, because again, like, you're raw Bisquick pancake batter. You needed a fix.
Yeah, dude.
What kind of weed were you smoking? It's been a long time since I've had an urge like that.
I know, but I was like tweaking, and I'm just like, I need it. And so, oh my God. And like in my stoned brain, this was the only way I was going to be able to have biscuits. And I like ended up like choking, like, you know, the people that like do the cinnamon challenge. It was kind of like that. Like, it was so stupid. Oh my God.
So in your year of being a chef, because I was a line cook for 10 years, I still kind of miss it. I just got out of it because I didn't want to be sliding around on a greasy floor when I'm 65 years old and it's 6 a.m. on a Sunday and I have no benefits, yada, yada, yada.
Oh, yeah.
But I did love to cook, still love to cook at home, thus the podcast. But during your 1 year as a chef, any surprises, failures, anything disgusting that stands out?
If you want me to get real, how much of a misogynist and sexually harassed female cooks can be.
Sure.
Because it was a very male dominated, at least where I was, like it still is a very male dominated industry. And I remember my chef Manny, he treated me like I was like a second class citizen. Like I could never have any good ideas. I couldn't, like, and I don't know if that was just like all cooks in all kitchens. Like the chef was like, this is who it is.
Yeah.
But then he would turn around and then be like, hey, sweetheart, and like hit me on the ass and like make, oh yeah, it was. And I was like, if is this how it is? Because
it's hard to believe that even exists still today after everything. You know, I like to think we've moved beyond that.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, granted, this was like 15 years ago because I'm old AF. I'm a lot young, or I'm a lot older than my pretty face portrays here, Jeff, but I'm actually 38 years old. So this was
come on. You're
so this was actually like super surprised about the hierarchy of it and the pressure, dude. The pressure. And people were taking themselves real seriously. And so I just like
why? I mean, growing up in the restaurants, we all gave each other shit, sexually and otherwise. And sometimes it got further if the two people involved, or maybe more than two, liked it that way.
Yeah.
If it was unwelcome, then it was pretty clear and you just didn't continue pursuing that. I was the biggest pervy in the world, but a little older than you too. You know, my first cook job was in the early 90s. So things were a bit different then. I was also living in the Midwest.
A little different then.
And I'm not making excuses, nor do I feel I need to. Everybody had fun as far as I could tell.
Yeah.
But that whole thing, there is such a difference. Like, I don't remember ever like objectifying each other in any way, you know, like that. So I'm sorry that happened.
Hey,
that sucks.
It happens, you know. What are you gonna? I mean, a lot of the things that I've chosen have been male-dominated industries. Like I play the trumpet, that's mostly males. I cook, you know, that's mostly males. Comedy, that's mostly males. So you kind of have to grow a thick skin. So.
Well, if there are a couple of reasons why I picked you for this podcast, Emily, one of them is because you are female and I don't want it to be all dudes. I've had dudes on the past couple and I like to mix it up. And there are a lot of great female comics in Denver. I'm so happy to see that. I'm a huge fan of Maria Bamford, just comes to mind first, as far as females, but I could go on and on.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about our past as cook / chef.
Mhm.
Have you ever eaten Rocky Mountain oysters, whether on the job or elsewhere?
I have eaten them. I've eaten them. I've tried them. It wasn't on the job. It was at what is it, the Buckhorn Exchange? That's the like
Mm,
the yeah, they sell them there. Is it the Buckhorn? Yeah, the one that's on
that
Santa
sounds right.
Fe. Yeah, like that oldest restaurant that has like liquor license #1. They sell them there. And my brother-in-law was in town and we tried them and yeah, it was eating a testicle, that's for sure. And I've had a lot of balls in my mouth. Am I right? No.
Hey, well, there goes my next
Hey,
question.
hey, oh.
Yeah, boy, you are on to me, or you're like psychic. No, well, I did. Being a line cook, I mean, I was guilty of grabbing the French fries and the this and that and putting them in the old pie hole. And every now and then, a Rocky Mountain oyster at this truck stop I worked at. Maybe there would be a few extra ones accidentally dropped in the fry basket. Oops. Until I sort of got what I deserved on that, I guess, kind of snagging that free food. It was undercooked and it was super white and gooey in the middle. I spit it into the garbage.
Yeah, well, welcome to my life there, Jeff. Just kidding. Speaking of semen, I'm sorry, I have to just say this. It's springtime, and I have to mention this. You know those little white flowering trees that are everywhere, the Bradford pear trees?
Oh, yeah. Or like,
They might not have been coming. Have you ever like actually taken a smell to those ones?
I'm picturing lilacs. I'm not sure. That's not the
Oh no,
same.
lilacs are sweet and lovely and wonderful. No, I call them the cum trees because they smell like semen. It is disgusting. You can't tell me you haven't like been walking around springtime Colorado and all of a sudden you get this whiff.
I know which bushes. I didn't know what they were called. To me, they smell like butt. Is that kind of the same? Like not good butt, like butt that probably needs washed.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. I mean, balls, butts, like any of those,
Crutch.
but it's a very distinct smell. And I used to work on the Auraria campus, and they have them like down in downtown Denver, and they have them like lined on the main drag. And every spring, I swear to God, I was terrible. It was bringing back flashbacks. Anyway, sorry about your white and gooey experience. That really sucks.
Yeah, I'm not sorry about yours though, because it sounds like you have enjoyed it. So I'm glad that at least anyway.
I don't know if I
Uh,
enjoy it. It's just kind of society has told me I should enjoy it, Jeff.
oh, that's right. Yeah, your old coworkers told you should enjoy it. All
Exactly.
right.
You know what? I don't have to enjoy anything.
No, you don't. You do not. That is your American right to be miserable.
I've been married for 20 years. I haven't sucked a dick in 20 years.
Oh no.
I haven't sucked a dick since 98 Degrees had a Christmas album. Yeah, yeah, we'll go with that. No,
I'm
I'm
not
just
sure
kidding.
which sucked bigger dick at that time. Anyway,
That
so
me, definitely me. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry,
okay,
keep going.
fair enough. I used to have to, get to play 98 Degrees as a radio DJ back when. So,
Oh yeah.
repressed memories, kind of.
Are you gonna be okay?
More of a
Okay.
rock guy. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Anyway, the Rocky Mountain Oyster thing. Do you know that's a school mascot in Colorado?
The Rocky Mountain Oyster. What school has the Rocky Mountain Oyster as their mascot?
Rocky Mountain High School in Carbondale. And they even have like it's a mascot. It looks like a big mussel, or
It's not just like a hanging ball sack.
it's not that. It just looks like a big oyster with like this pathetic face on it. And I can't believe that they haven't changed it. Like, what happens? I actually wrote a blog on this that I found, and it is
Oh.
full of double entendre. I don't know if I should bore everybody with it. It's probably like a 2-minute thing, but how proud would you be of your kid if they were the highest scoring Rocky Mountain oyster on their team?
I mean,
Winning is winning, but
a name is just a name. I don't know. It definitely feels less valiant if you're like, we're #1, Rocky Mountain Oysters.
Uncle Nasty, when he was on KBPI in Denver, had a petition going to make the mascot of the town of Eaton the Eaton Beavers.
Eating beavers, yeah.
That is the only thing that would be more attention getting, let's say, than Rocky Mountain.
There's a beer that's belching beaver. You know that? That's true. My friend used to work for there as the brewer. And you know what? This is a little factoid about me. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with beavers. I like collected, this is true. Like I collected beavers, like of all shapes and sizes.
Same here. Same here. Yeah.
I had a notch on my wall. No, I'm talking about the animal, people. Get your minds out of the gutters.
Yeah, yeah. Build a dam against all that perversion, will you?
God. Beaver munching. This is great. Let's keep going.
You never know where it's going to go on this podcast. That's why I keep doing this thing. It's not because I have extra time. It's just because
it's fun to talk about big beavers.
Big beavers and slimy balls. Oh yeah.
And slimy balls. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. Sorry if you were just getting ready to eat lunch or dinner. Hopefully we didn't make it worse, but if we made it better for you, you should probably get some help.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, I could tell you something good that I created, and I will lay claim to it. I will. Sure. I really will.
Let's have it.
Was the Smorio.
Okay.
When I was pregnant for the first time, like I ate everything. Like I gained like 8,000 pounds, but I was growing a life, so everybody can fuck off. But I made this. I swear to God, I invented the Smorio. It is a s'more, just how you make a s'more with the chocolate, but then you add Oreos on either side, and then the graham cracker, and then you stuff it in your cake hole, and it is fucking delicious.
It's like a Big Mac that's a dessert.
Yes,
like triple
yes,
layered
it is.
Or quadruple even.
It is sadness on shame on all in
wonderful.
One. It's all one sandwich. Yeah, I'm all about efficiency. I still eat those to this very day. Sometimes if I get a little sassy, I like to put a peanut butter cup in there. I save that for really, really bad days. You know what I mean?
I don't think I have the patience to do anything with a peanut butter cup except inhale it. That is my favorite thing ever to eat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yummy.
That's because they're friggin' delicious.
Oh,
yeah. But crazy. The peanut butter cup is, I think, one of the most versatile candies.
Okay.
Fight me on that one. Like, because I feel like there's so much you can do with the peanut butter cup.
Yeah.
Like, not only do you eat it, but you can like, it goes lovely in cheesecakes. It makes for a great crust with pies. Like, there's so many things you can do with a peanut butter cup.
You're killing me. And I have something called cheat day, because otherwise I'd be 750 pounds. And cheat day is today. This is being recorded on a Saturday. And you're giving me some ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I got lots of ideas. Like, I think I'm everybody's consigliere when it comes to when they need a snack and when they're stoned. I'm like, okay, what do you have? Here's what you got to do. And every time they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. I'm like, yep. Maybe I should just start a business where I just, like, in the consults for people who get stoned and just really need that one thing.
But
like,
no matter what you tell them, though, what's going to happen is they're going to get home and go, oh my God, what do I have in the cabinet? And there goes the water and or milk and the Bisquick sort of thing. You know,
yeah,
it's like whatever we got. But hey, it doesn't hurt to put some ideas in their minds. Maybe they'll actually go out and buy it.
Yeah, and plant a little seed, you know. I also have, when I was pregnant, this is something that I didn't make that was good. This was terrible, and to this day I still can't, like, remind my husband of it without him gagging.
Yeah, that's what this is for.
Yeah. I was having a weird craving, and I'm like, I want orange sherbet. So I got orange sherbet, and then I'm like, but it's just too sweet. I need something. So I put olives on it. And I was literally, I know. And like, even to this day, like, it makes me cringe, but like, I was just like, I had the carton of orange sherbet and like a can of sliced olives. And I just like put it in there and mixed it up. And I just shoved it into my cake hole. And I swear to God, it was like, I was eating, I don't know. It was delicious. It was like exactly what I needed at that moment.
There is something about that sweet and salty mixture that makes people cringe. But if you actually try it, it's good. Like Ruffles and whipped cream.
Yeah. Yes.
Same sort of thing.
Saltines and buttercream frosting.
Huh.
You ever tried that before? Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people don't make, I mean, maybe people don't make a lot of cakes, but when I make cakes, I always have a shit ton of frosting laying around, and which always pleases my husband because he will literally put that shit on anything. Like he'll take out like an apple and be like, "Oh, need some buttercream frosting." Arr.
Huh, he and I might get along.
Yeah, good. I think you really would. Yeah, no, dude. And on graham crackers too. Saltine crackers and graham crackers, buttercream frosting is fucking delicious.
Graham crackers with a Velveeta slice in between. That's another sweet, salty thing.
Have you ever tried, this was a Midwest thing. This was toast with cheese and maple syrup.
Not the maple syrup.
I've never tried it, but like I knew so many people when I used to live in Iowa that had this for breakfast, and it was like a normal thing.
Huh. Wow. That's crazy.
And I'm like, okay, well, you do you, Midwesterners.
So you've been surrounded by stoners your whole life, is what you're telling me.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have, Jeff.
Sounds like
and I feel like I'm better off as a person, you know, because think of all of the wonderful things I got to put in my mouth.
Samesies. Oh my goodness. If you're still listening after all of that and you're like, hey, I've lived through a food-related disaster, I should be on the Cooking with Comics podcast. I'm way ahead of you. Hit me up on Instagram or Facebook or email gundy222@gmail.com.